Everything you believe to be real, including your physical body, your home, your memories, and even this very moment, is simply a detailed projection of your own mind. It's a simulation or a hologram where you are the one creating, experiencing, and ultimately waking up from the dream. This isn't a New Age concept, but a profound revelation recognized across millennia and cultures, from ancient Indian temples to modern quantum physics labs. 5,000 years ago, the Vedic sages used the word Maya to describe this secret of existence. It explains why we feel disconnected from the universe and search for things outside ourselves that we already possess within. It also explains why happiness always seems to be a future event that never arrives, like a mirage. Maya isn't just an illusion. It's the very process through which a single consciousness divides itself into countless individual experiences. This creates a cosmic play where we all forget we are actors and believe we are the characters we portray. Even as you read this, quantum waves are becoming solid particles only because you are observing them. Your brain is building a three-dimensional reality from electrical signals, and your mind is creating a unified sense of self from trillions of constantly changing cells. Have you ever wondered who the real observer is behind your eyes? The one who remains constant while your thoughts and feelings shift and change? Ancient wisdom, which modern science is just beginning to confirm, understood that the reality we see is a shared creation between our consciousness and the cosmos. It's a cosmic theater where each of us plays the role of a single life, temporarily forgetting our infinite nature. This is the story of Maya, the sacred illusion that lets the one experience itself as many and the eternal experience itself through time and finite forms. This is how you, a being of pure consciousness, can completely forget yourself and then desperately try to return to what you have always been. Prepare to question everything you think is real and to discover the freedom that comes from realizing the illusion of the prison you believe you're in. To truly grasp Maya, we have to look back to when humanity was still open to these mysteries we now consider impossible. In the Vedas, the oldest human texts, we find the first descriptions of this force that weaves our perceived reality. The Rigveda speaks of Maya as the creative power of the god Indra, who uses his magical ability to manifest worlds. This wasn't about fantasy, but about understanding that reality emerges from a creative process beyond ordinary logic. In the Upanishads, particularly the Mandukya, Maya is described in its deepest sense through four states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and the fourth state, Turiya, which is pure awareness. In Turiya, all other states are seen as equally illusory projections on the eternal screen of consciousness. Shankara, a great Vedanta master, explained Maya with a vivid story. A man sees a snake at night and becomes terrified, but with a lantern, he discovers it was just a rope. The snake was never real, but the fear was. The rope was always there, but was hidden by a mental projection. Similarly, the world isn't false, but our perception is clouded by our ignorance of our true nature. We see separation and mortality where there is actually unity and eternity. The Bhagavad Gita, meanwhile, describes this divine Maya as difficult to overcome, but states that those who seek refuge in Krishna can transcend it. The idea of Maya isn't limited to Hinduism. Buddhists talk about samsara, the cycle of conditioned existence where our minds create suffering by identifying with things that are not permanent. Taoism views the physical world as the eternal dance between yin and yang, polarities that only exist in our dualistic perception. Christian Gnostics believe the material world was an illusion made by a limited creator, the demiurge, and that spiritual awakening was about seeing the divine spark beyond this false creation. All these traditions recognized a key distinction between ultimate reality and apparent reality. Just as water doesn't disappear when it becomes vapor, consciousness doesn't vanish when it appears as the world. It just temporarily forgets its unified nature. The Hermetic principle of mentalism teaches that the all is mind, meaning the universe is a mental projection of the absolute, a thought form in the divine mind. We, as parts of that mind, actively participate in creating reality through our observation and intentions. This leads us to a deeper revelation. If Maya is the force that creates the experience of separation, then understanding it is the first step to moving beyond it, not by denying the world, but by recognizing its true nature. This brings us to a remarkable point where modern science unintentionally confirms what mystics have long known. In the 20th century, quantum physics shattered the idea of a solid, objective reality, revealing a universe that operates just as the Vedic sages described. Werner Heisenberg, a pioneer of quantum mechanics, said that what we observe is not nature itself, but nature exposed to our way of asking questions. This means that reality doesn't exist independently of the observer. Our observation helps create it. The double-slit experiment shows something that defies logic. An electron passes through both slits at once until it is observed, at which point it decides which slit it went through. This shows that a particle exists in all possible states at once, quantum superposition, until our conscious observation collapses this multiplicity into a single experience. Physicist David Bohm suggested that all reality comes from an implicate order, a non-physical field of pure potential that unfolds into the world we see. This implicate order is very similar to what Vedanta calls Brahman, the non-dual reality from which all forms emerge. Erwin Schrödinger, the creator of a fundamental quantum equation, studied the Upanishads and declared that the unity described by Vedanta wasn't just a scientific theory, but an immediate experience. He realized that consciousness isn't a byproduct of matter, but the source from which matter appears. The hard problem of consciousness in neuroscience shows that we can't find consciousness in the brain because we're looking in the wrong place. It's like searching for the dreamer inside the dream. The dreamer exists beyond the dream, though it is the foundation on which the dream appears. In a similar vein, Carl Jung discovered that our individual minds are connected to a collective unconscious, a shared field of universal patterns and archetypes that transcends personal experience. This revolutionary discovery came from his clinical work, where he found that people from different cultures had surprisingly similar symbols and dreams without any prior contact. Jung's collective unconscious is a deep part of the human mind, shared by everyone and inherited through our evolution. The archetypes within it, like the hero, the wise old man, and the shadow, are primordial patterns that appear consistently in myths and stories across all civilizations, suggesting that our minds operate according to fundamental, universal structures. These archetypes are not just ideas, but dynamic forces that profoundly influence our behavior, emotions, and how we see reality. Jung realized that our conscious ego is only a tiny part of our awareness, a small island floating in a vast ocean of the objective psyche. Our ego, while necessary for daily life, is just the tip of the iceberg, and beneath the surface, autonomous psychic forces shape our experience in ways we are often unaware of. True psychological maturity, therefore, is not only knowing yourself as an individual, but also recognizing your part in these universal human patterns that connect us all. The Kybalion teaches the principle of vibration. Nothing is still, everything moves and vibrates. Science confirms that what seems solid is actually energy vibrating at different frequencies. A diamond and a cloud are the same energy expressing in different patterns. But the most profound truth is that we are both the observer and the observed. There is no real separation between the subject and the object. It is all just consciousness temporarily dividing itself to experience multiplicity. This is Maya in its most subtle form. Not just the illusion that external objects are solid, but the illusion that there is an I separate from those objects. Both the observer and the observed are temporary changes in the one consciousness, different vibrations of the same thing. We are like waves in the eternal ocean of being. When Einstein discovered that time and space are relative to the observer, he unknowingly confirmed the Vedic idea that time, kala, and space, desa, are aspects of Maya, mental constructs that allow for the sequential experience of what is fundamentally eternal and infinite. Quantum mechanics also reveals that particles are entangled, instantly connected regardless of distance. This mirrors the Upanishadic teaching that Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. All of this is truly Brahman. Separation is an illusion. Connection is the foundation of everything. Now we are at the most important part of this journey. What do you do with this knowledge? How do you live, knowing that we are literally inside a matrix? The answer isn't to deny the world, but to understand its true purpose. Maya isn't a mistake or a trap. It is the means by which infinite consciousness can experience itself subjectively. Without Maya, consciousness would remain as pure potential, never knowing the joy of self-discovery, the beauty of love, or the adventure of getting lost and finding itself again. Vedanta explains there are 3 levels of reality: absolute, paramarthika; empirical, vyavaharika; and apparent, pratibhasika. A dream has apparent reality. It is real within the dream, but disappears when you wake up. The waking world has empirical reality. It is functionally real within its own parameters. Only Brahman has absolute reality, unconditional existence. Understanding this doesn't mean you should treat the world as a fantasy. On the contrary, it means recognizing that even this illusion is sacred because it is consciousness itself manifesting. When the sage Ramana Maharshi was asked about the reality of the world, he said, "The world is real. Only its interpretation as something separate from consciousness is illusory." Jung found that individuation doesn't mean getting rid of your personality, but consciously integrating it with your higher self. Your ego doesn't vanish. It becomes a clear tool for your true self to express itself in the world. In alchemy, this is called solve et coagula, dissolve to recreate. We let go of our rigid attachment to limited forms so we can consciously recreate ourselves as flexible expressions of the one consciousness. We don't stop being people. We become people who are aware of our true nature. Consciousness stays fully present in the world, but no longer mistakes itself for the temporary changes that appear within it. This awakening isn't a single event, but a continuous process of remembering. Maya is so convincing because we are the ones creating it, like an actor so talented they convince themselves they are the character. Awakening is remembering that you are the actor, not denying the character. In everyday life, this brings a feeling of lightness. Problems still happen, but they lose their overwhelming emotional weight. Feelings and thoughts still arise, but they no longer control us. We live fully engaged, but remain fundamentally free. All the ancient sages pointed to the same truth. You are far more vast, free, and connected than you realize. This journey is not to a faraway place, but inward. Maya is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. Through it, you learn what you are not, so you can discover what you are. Through experiencing limitation, you recognize your unlimited nature, and through the game of forgetting, you get to experience the joy of remembering. This is the ultimate paradox of existence. You are trying to escape a prison that only exists in your mind. You are simultaneously the prisoner, the prison, the key, and the freedom. Maya is the veil that hides this truth, and paradoxically, it's also the very way you can discover it. Awakening within the dream isn't about abandoning human life, but living it as the sacred dance it has always been. Every meeting is a reunion between aspects of the same consciousness. Every challenge is a chance to remember who you truly are, and every moment is a gateway to the eternal present. You now know the secret that sages have whispered for thousands of years. You were never truly born and will never truly die, because you are life itself, temporarily appearing in human form. Maya is your cosmic disguise, and also your invitation to the most glorious awakening imaginable, to discover that you are both the seeker and the sought, the question and the answer, the path and the destination. If any of this resonates with you, then it might be time to take the next step. The illusion of Maya can be dense, but there are ancient maps to help you navigate it. One of them is now available to you if you wish to unlock the full power of your mind and explore the 7 laws that govern the inner universe. The book, The Master Key, is available in the video description. It's not just a book. It's a key that can unlock the doors to the Temple of Mysteries. If you're ready to open that door, the key is in your hands. Welcome to the discovery of your true nature. So now you know, this world is not what it seems. What you call reality is a sacred mirage, and what you truly are cannot be seen with the eyes or touched with the hands. The veil of Maya has fallen over consciousness for eons, but every glimpse behind it brings you closer to the truth. You are not just in the dream. You are the dreamer. If this awakening speaks to something deep within you, then don't let it fade. Help us keep this ancient flame alive. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next unveiling. And leave a comment below, what do you believe Maya is? Until then, keep remembering who you are behind the illusion.